Here we are with episode 6 of SA Great with JP Drake, and we are in the beautiful town of Wollonga, wine territory, which is the home of Mojo Kombucha. And we're going to have a chat with the CEO, Anthony Crabb, who was very instrumental in getting this business started right here in South Australia. Let's go have a chat. So here we are with SA Great with JP Drake, number 6, and we are in the beautiful country area of Wollonga in South Australia, home of Mojo Kombucha. And it could be called many other ways, and depending on what country you're from, how much you drink, if you drink a lot of it, or if you drink none of it, or if you're new to the category, you might have all heard some form of kombucha being spoken to about before. But we are definitely going to be involved with talking to Anthony here from Mojo's. He's a co-founder of Mojo. Anthony, welcome.
Mate, it's fantastic to get you down here and show you around.
Well, we've had a big tour actually, had a look around. I think let's get started with one of the hard-hitting questions. Kombucha, kombucha,
Lots of different iterations, mate. You hear kombucha out there and all sorts of things, but me with my Aussie slang, I went kombucha. So I'm saying kombucha's the go.
Okay, so that's nice and easy. And I think that's cleared it up for everyone. So everyone can now relax. What is kombucha?
So kombucha is effectively a fermented tea. So it's a fermentation process where you add a kombucha culture to some tea, and it ferments all those sugars and bits and pieces in there to a low sugar, organic, healthy drink. So
if I like tea, will I like kombucha?
You'll love Mojo Kombucha.
Okay, so if I'm into my fruit juices and things like that in the morning, is this a good alternative to have?
Absolutely, and if you're looking at low sugar, this is also a great product. We take our kombucha, we blend it with all sorts of fruits and spices, so you're perfect for any occasion throughout the day.
It's an unusual craft, and there's a lot of people that try to do fermenting their own kombucha with their own Scoobies and all these new things. Did you try and make this before you started this big operation that we're now in?
Yeah, we did. Gee, that was a few years ago now. We had a friend who was visiting overseas a lot and saw this kombucha over in the States, and saw one facing becoming 2, becoming 3, and brought this SCOBY back and said, we need to start making this. So we had a crack, took over the kitchen, had SCOBYs in the bathrooms and lounge rooms and everywhere. And in the end, my wife just threw me out the house and said, you got to get this stuff out and go in the shed and be a normal person. So did that. And we had some involvement from the SARDI team here in South Australia, the South Australian Research and Development Institute, came and helped us. And we had a commercial product where we went to market in 2010.
What is the biggest component of kombucha?
Biggest component of kombucha is the actual, the actual culture itself. So, and that's something that we've had on our journey right through our business so far. And that SCOBY has been with us since the start. So
the SCOBY is, it's an unusual looking creature. And I think it's definitely live. So can you explain a little bit more about what a SCOBY is?
Yeah, so a SCOBY actually stands for a symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria, which is like this little gelatinous pellicle of really healthy yeast and bacterial bugs. And when you put them in the brew, they just start smashing the sugar and everything else in there, and really make the kombucha product. So as I said, we had our little SCOBY when we first started, and we've now got people looking after that in the nursery, which we actually call it a nursery, growing up all the generations of SCOBYs. We got SCOBYs everywhere.
So it's called a nursery, is that? That's cool. Whereabouts has kombucha come from? Like, is it some ancient Asian thing, or is it from European, or is it Egyptian?
Look, there's a lot of history dating back on kombucha, up to 2,000 years ago, where the Japanese warriors would be drinking that before they went into battle to get all charged up on kombucha, because it helps with energy and metabolizing your body. And so a lot of history there. It sort of made its way through I believe the trade routes through, China and Europe, end up in the States. Yeah, all that. And I guess really popular in the States, and then, Australia catching up as we move through.
So let's go to Mojo. You've been kicked out. Your wife's kicked you out. Go outside, start fermenting that in the garage. And what possessed you to think, hang on, there's something here, I want to keep doing this? So
my wife, I, and the other founders always been interested in health and health products, and wanted to really find something that ticked all the boxes for us, different in market, healthy, nutritious, and really a vehicle to help change consumers' patterns across, drinking, sugary drinks to low sugar options. So, really got some confidence in the product. We started making it, sold it in some health food shops, a local farmers market here out the back of a car. Really organic startups, great support from the local independent market here early on, particularly in South Australia, really giving us a chance as well. So that really helped give us the confidence to really keep running with it.
Fly through 12 years later brings us here today. When you first started back in 2009, how much has changed in that period of time?
Not a lot really. I mean, other than more great people in the business. So we've always been about the people in our team. It's never about, one person. So we've got some really passionate people working in the business. We stick to our core principles. We be the most authentic kombucha on the market. Where we're staying true to our roots, where we've come from, organic, and, just making sure that we're doing everything right to give the best gut health benefit to consumers when they're drinking Mojo Kombucha.
Let's talk about a health benefit, sugar. And you have scientifically proven it's got low sugar in all of your kombucha?
Yeah, so you can't make kombucha without sugar. Sugar is the #1 ingredient to help the fermentation, because you need food for your bugs, all right? So you put the sugar in at the start, and then the bugs go and start churning away at that, and that's where you end up with a low sugar, because they convert that sugar into all the good stuff, all the organic acids and things. You need sugar. You can't ferment kombucha with, say, stevia. You need a sugar source in there, and we have always prided ourselves on authentic kombucha. So that's why we'll have a residual, but consider it is a low sugar product.
So the #1 health benefit from drinking kombucha is?
Gut health.
And there's been a lot of science, and I think we're just at the beginning of what people are starting to talk about at gut health, which pretty much what happens here is literally controlling everything that's happening in your life. And I don't know why, but it seems it's taken people a long time to actually realize that. You've obviously figured this out quite a long time ago. You've gone full steam ahead into building an amazing company. You mentioned some of your people here. We've been a couple of different sites here, and you've obviously had to expand because of your products now all over Australia. Is there anywhere else in the world, or all just here in Australia?
Yeah, so certainly, absolutely Australia, from Broome to Cairns to Hobart to Margaret River. We're right across the country, and doing some work in New Zealand and also in Singapore now. So certainly you're starting to see an export opportunities open up for us as we're growing and developing the business. 2020,
there were 210 branded varieties with 121 global brand owners across 22 countries in kombucha. That's a big number. Did you think that's how it would go 10 years ago?
No, mate. No, it was just, when you start a business, and probably similar to yours, JP, is that you just consume with the day-to-day running, and you don't get the chance to actually look back and think, wow, that's actually what happened. And you get a chance to reflect on that sometimes, but you're just so focused on what you do and running so hard that we never thought it'd get to the heights of where it is now.
Kombucha, I've noticed, is in the cold. So is there any particular reason why it needs to be kept cold? Or does it have to be kept cold?
Ours does, yeah. Our activated range and gut shots have to remain chilled because it's an authentic kombucha, and we need to keep those bugs happy, and refrigeration is the best way for us to keep them. As I said, we have a residual sugar. and we need to keep those bugs refrigerated.
And product range. How many products do you have under Mojo's banner?
Wow, yeah, it's really starting to grow. There's lots there now. We've got our activated range, which was really our beachhead product range, which went into market when we first started, and that's just growing to 8 to 10 SKUs now. We've got our gut shots, which is our new products, the 55ml gut shots, which is taking fermentation a little bit further, really getting a little more acid in there, and some fruits and spices. And then we've got our new soda range, which is really a first for Australian market, with a different spin on health, gut health, by adding a prebiotic fibre in there.
So when we talk about first for Australia, all coming from the innovation here in Wollonga, in South Australia, wine country. I think you've showed that the fruits and the things that are the ingredients going into the product, they're all real ingredients.
They are, absolutely. Everything is real. So if you're buying a Mojo with a raspberry in it, it's a raspberry. Yeah. It's not a fruit flavour. If you're buying a turmeric kombucha from us, you got turmeric in there. So it's real fruit and real spices.
So when I see the bottom of like I'll say a Cooper's, where you roll the beer for the pale ale, do you have to do that with the kombucha, or you see the sediment on the bottom?
Yeah, that's the good stuff. So you want to get that in there and roll it around and then open up and chug it. So that's the good stuff.
So that's definitely the stuff that you cannot miss. Like I see some people, they leave the part. I'm like, well, that's the whole point. So your new product development, the consumers, our customers, they're becoming very needy, and they just want new product, new product, new product, new product. You mentioned going into the shots. Is the shots the equivalent of someone that gets a large coffee? They go for the bottle, the larger bottle, and the shot is for that person that's drinking like a piccolo or a shot of coffee. Is that how it is, or is it just a totally different range?
Yeah, no, look, it's a totally different range, but really looking at a totally different occasion. So we're finding that people are choosing these ones like for a breakfast, for instance.
Yeah, okay.
So they're smashing that in the morning, rather than having to, when people don't have a lot of time to chug a full bottle, they can smash a Mojo gut shot and then have another one at lunchtime with a full bottle with their lunch.
And you mentioned the product development for the Mojo soda. How did that come about?
Yeah, so that's looking at new ways on how we can deliver gut health to consumers, and looking at some of the new trends coming to the drinks category. And prebiotic fibre is one, where we're putting fibre in the bottle, which is actually good food for the good bugs in your gut. So you can have a kombucha that's delivering benefits to yourself by, it's like having travel snacks for your good bacteria.
I must have looked at it wrong. I saw soda. That's the perfect thing to add to my vodka.
Well, absolutely. You can have a drink and get prebiotics at the same time.
At the same time, and get my fibre content.
Absolutely.
So amazing.
Absolutely.
If we go back to how it all first started, and were you based here when you first started in Wollonga, or how did it all come about if you go back to the very beginning?
Yeah, so we worked out a home which was at the back of McLaren Vale, and then we set up down here in 2010. So this is the first premises, and Wollonga's just got a great vibe to it. Great organic little town, great people in this area, borderline by the vineyards. It was the perfect place to start a business, and really close to home, which helps.
That always makes a difference. So you've had a history of Aldinga turkeys with your parents, and now you've gone on to do this, all in supporting local people in South Australia. Is that important to your business model?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. Having local people is really important. We do have people interstate working for us in sales teams, but we do really class everyone as the Mojo family, and treat everyone the same. And people are our key assets, without a doubt.
The ingredients that go into Mojo, whereabouts are you sourcing them from?
Yeah, so look, where possible, we start on a tiered system. So we'll start on South Australia. For instance, we use some local juice from Nippies in some of our products. We'll then go to Australia, as being where can we source our fruits and from. And 9 times out of 10, we can grab everything we need from Australia. But on those cases where we have to source from other places, we do that as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any pineapples here.
No, they come from Queensland where possible as well. So yeah.
So you're looking at new product development all the time and you're continually pushing the boundaries, which is fantastic. Do you have a favorite Mojo product?
I do. And mine is actually the original JP. So we used to have a product when we first started, which is called the original, which is basically just sucking it straight out of the vat when we make it. That is my favorite. So I get the team to put a little bit of that aside for me. But if I had to put my finger on a second one, it'd be the turmeric kombucha. Yeah.
And is that turmeric ginger?
Turmeric ginger, yes.
Yeah, we've had some of that. That was amazing. And we had that in the shots too. So there you have it. Anthony, CEO of Mojo, telling you how it is. And if you've never had kombucha before, there's no doubt you've got to get into any one of the outlets out there and buy it. Preferably an independent, supporting locals would be the best place. But hey, you just got to get this stuff into you. And this is their new product. It's the Gut Shot. And I think we need to cheers to this, Anthony.
Cheers, JP.
Cheers. Kombucha.
Kombucha. Mojo Kombucha.
So good. It's like my 10th one today, and I'm still going.